government keeps growing. This depresses me, but Grover Norquist keeps smiling. The president of Americans for Tax Reform has fought for lower taxes and tax simplification for 30 years, and you failed. It's less simple than it ever was. Taxes are often higher. Why are you so cheerful all the time?
We have a majority of the members of the House who've made a written commitment to the American people they'll never vote for a tax increase. They keep that. We haven't had a tax increase as long as the Republicans controlled the House of Representatives. We've stopped the bleeding on tax increases as long as they can hold on to one part of the government. When we went head-to-head with Obama in 2011, he wanted $2.5 trillion and more debt, wanted trillions in higher taxes. The Republicans said, no tax increase, period. We got $2.5 trillion in spending restraint. We won that fight. Spending went from 23% of GDP down to 20%, and we've held. That's the federal government. We stopped the bleeding. Takes new leadership.
With the sequester law that a lot of politicians say, oh, we have to get rid of that.
Good news is they're not going to get rid of it. It's the one big victory that the American people had against this onrush of TARP and stimulus and Obamacare early on in the Obama administration. But you want to see where we're winning? Look to the states. You want to see freedom flourish? Homeschooling was illegal in all states 30 years ago. Today, 2 million Americans are being homeschooled. 10 million have been. That's breaking into the government monopoly. 30 years ago, no states had shall issue concealed carry permits, where the government had to give you a permit to carry concealed if you were 21 and honest. Today, 41 states have shall issue. All states allow at least may issue concealed carry permits. 12 million Americans have a concealed carry permit.
To me, the clearest outrage is the complexity, how long it takes just to understand your taxes. That's getting worse.
We have 9 states with no income tax. We have states like Kansas and North Carolina, which are on a path to get rid of their state income taxes. The states competing with each other, people leave California and New York and move to Texas and Florida. People are moving to low-tax states, which ought to give us a hint as to where they want to go. But it empowers the low-tax, limited government, better governed states. How else are we changing the country? 401ks, IRAs. About half the country now has defined contribution pensions, 401ks, IRAs. They're owning shares of stock.
But even these breaks make things more complex. 1 in 3 small businesses says they spend more than 80 hours per year just on federal taxes.
Well, I'm not arguing things are good. Things are very bad. We started in 1774 as colonists. We were paying 1% to 2% of our income in taxes. The British were thinking of going to 3%, and we brought the guns out. Okay, so we're now at about 30% being taken federal, state, and local. So there's been some backsliding. But I would argue that what we've done at the state level is build the case, and look at school choice. Okay, we now have education savings accounts, which are really dynamic form of vouchers. We just passed this in Nevada, the most
in this
robust,
state, the biggest voucher program in the country.
Okay, yeah. It's huge. The government monopoly in this state is fading as a monopoly because Arizona, Indiana, Louisiana, Nevada, Florida, Wisconsin, a number of states have very robust school choice efforts. And the other team's argument was, if you don't run everything inside the public school monopoly, there'll be Wiccan schools, and they'll do organ harvesting of the kids in private schools, and all sorts of horror stories, and people got scared. Well, now that there are enough people with enough experiments in enough of the states, people realize that's nonsense. The movement towards liberty at the state level, I think it's tough to stop. Here's the advantage we have over statists. Truly stupid things can only be done out of Washington, D.C. You can't do Obamacare in Vermont alone. Bad ideas, truly bad ideas, only can be put in Obamacare at the national level. Because we have divided government.
Where there's no competition.
Where there's no competition, and if everybody's suffering, it's not really clear what did it. Who knows what it was? Maybe it's the weather.